Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are doing well and staying happy, healthy, but most of all, safe during these trying times. My name is Jason T. Mahoney, better known as the Motivator. I'm super excited to be here with you today. And so, what we're going to do, we're going to start tonight with this awesome show of a chat with the elders. And so, a chat with the elders is we have individuals from our community who have done inspiring, encouraging, and motivating things. And we have individuals from all generation. I don't call them elders, I call them wisdom givers. So I'm going to present to you right now some of our wisdom givers. So at this time, I'm going to present to you the one and only Dr. Sandra Coley.
Good evening, everybody. I am an ordained minister with the Free Will Baptist denomination. I am also the program coordinator for the Christian Education Program at Shaw University Divinity School. I was had the honor of being a panelist on last year, and I am very excited to be back again on this year. I hope that something is going to be said that all of you can benefit from. I love teaching. Teaching is my passion. Teaching is my passion. And it is a blessing. It's truly a blessing when God can make your passion, your career, and also your life goal. Nobody but God could have done that. And so, again, I am so happy to be here. I'm looking forward to tonight's conversation. So, I'm ready to get started. Let's have some fun.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley. And so, Dr. Coley, if you can tell us one fun fact about you.
One fun, one fun fact about me is I like cooking, but I like old recipes. So I'm one of those people who would go back and get that old fashioned bread pudding recipe and I will bake it and share it with the young generation. I really hope that recipes are handed down from
Mm.
generation to generation in our families the same way we hand down certain stories about people from the family, stories that go on and on and on. Well, it's my desire that the families in our African American community will begin to pass down those recipes that seems to be going away.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley. So we will call you back in a few moments. We're going to put you in the green room and we're going to call you back up front in a few moments, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Again, if you are just joining us, you're joining us on with Crafted to Motivate, the motivator, Jason T. Mahoney, a chat with the elders where we're bringing individuals that I call wisdom givers to the front to celebrate and acknowledge Black History Month. If you're listening with us, please like and share this with your neighbors, your friends, your family. You're definitely in for an awesome show tonight. Again, a chat with the elders. Please like and share. Also, on this show, we're going to give out a couple prizes. So, if you like some money prizes, we're going to make sure and give out some money prizes. But in order for you to win the money, you must do something for us. You must go to craftedtomotivate.com. The website is on the screen. That's www.craftedtomotivate.com. And what you will have to do is you will have to go all the way to the bottom and you will subscribe to the page. Just enter your email address and click subscribe. And what happens is you will be entered into a drawing for a $100 gift card on behalf of Crafted to Motivate for Black History Month. So again, you must go and subscribe to craftedtomotivate.com and you will have the opportunity to be entered for a $100 gift card for Black History Month. So again, please like and share. If you're not listening, go knock on a neighbor's door and let them know about a chat with our elders. So now we're going to call up to the front an individual that I have come to know. He's amazing. He resides in and Canada. So again, we're stretching across the world as far as it relates to a chat with the elders. So we're going to call up to the front the one and only Dr. Dudley Mayers.
Hello, good evening. I'm just excited about being here again. Thanks for the invitation last year and now this year. It's going to be a
Ooh,
great evening.
awesome. Dr. Mayers, I see some of your family is your friends are on. I see Dr. Kimberly Green. She's on. Do you know Dr. Green?
Oh, yeah. Yes, my buddy.
So she's on waving at us. So Dr. Mayers, can you tell us a little bit about just who you are? And I see the Global Chaplaincy Center in the back. Just tell us about who you are and even about the Global Chaplaincy Center.
Well, Global Chaplaincy Center is my present passion. I've been doing chaplaincy for a long time and didn't realize it. I really am excited when I encourage ministers to fulfill their destiny, purpose, and calling. And we at Global Chaplaincy Center, we move in wherever people are hurting in the community outside of the four walls of the church. And that's where most people in the world are, outside of the four walls of the church. So we just go to them with our love, with the love of God, and reach them where they're hurting anytime in any situation.
Wow, wow. So Dr. Mayers, I will in talk with you, chaplaincy is one of your favorite things. It's from the heart for you. So if you can tell your listening audience, why is chaplaincy so important for you?
Well, it's important because I realize that there are so many thousands, millions of great Christians out there who go to church, do good things in church, and we keep it in the church family. And whereas based on the global population, there is 7.8 billion people in the world. Possibly we have 2 billion Christians, and there are 4.8 people who don't know which side is up and which side is down, and have spiritual needs. As chaplains, wherever they live, work, or play, we have access to them because they are non-threatening. We just go to them and meet them wherever they are, regardless of their religion, regardless of their race, color, regardless of their culture. We can hone in there with training to reach them where they need us.
Wow, wow. And we need more individuals in the community that are what I consider marketplace, doing things in the community to support individuals in their need. So, Dr. Mayers, thank you so much for the work that you're doing in the community to support individuals. So, we're going to bring you back in a few moments, but we want to see who else we have in the green room. So,
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
so much, Dr. Mayers, and we'll call you
Thank you.
back. Thank you. Awesome, awesome. Again, if you're just joining us, we're on a chat with the elders with Jason T. Mahoney, better known as the Motivator. Please like and share this. Reach out to your family members and tell them the good news that is taking place right here in celebration of Black History Month, a chat with the elders. So we're going to now call to the front another lady. She is with us all the way from Mississippi. If somebody can spell Mississippi how we were taught to spell it at a young age, I think it was M-I, humpback, crooked letter, you know how we did. So we're going to go all the way to Mississippi and bring up the one and only Dr. Deborah Brewer. Dr. Brewer, come on up. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. And I want to thank you so much to be a part of the chat with the elders because I believe that the young and the old has to work together and it has to flow. And I'm excited about this.
Wow, wow. So you have a huge story just about who you are. So
Yeah.
if you can tell the listening audience, who is Dr. Deborah Brewer?
Well, Dr. Brewer really is shepherdess. And that was when God called me into ministry. He said that you are my shepherdess and your sheep is a manyfold. And that's all you have to do is empty yourself and I will show them the good shepherd. Well, that started the process of a church, which is Good Shepherd Ministry, and the mission was to unveil the Good Shepherd. But I've always been real. I love my city. I love people, and so it really. I've always like uh, Dudley will say, always in the ministry, always have been. I started off in nursing, 1972, started off at Rollins Hospital in Mississippi. as a nurse's aide and went already up as with my BSN as a leader. I became a breathing coordinator and also resolved through sharing with newborn deaf, also chaplaincy. And I I got myself involved with every church, being black or white. I wanted to learn. So I did a lot of processing with the School of Swanee, looking at education for lay ministry. So I'm a wedding coordinator. I'm a youth director by heart. Um, Boys and Girls Club when they didn't have one, just to get a building. So, but where I am right now is I after not doing full time ministry now, I'm Wisdom Tree is being birthed because this is where I want to be able to do compassionate, loving touch to those that are hurting, and to be able to have a way of experiencing God, even like with women with spiritual reflection, even looking at character work, silent retreats, being able to listen. I do oversight with ministry. I am an apostle, and to train leaders, and to also now we need genuine called people because the people are hurting.
Wow.
And so right now, I'm very intentional in what I do. But I don't want to, I want to see it happen in people. Leadership is seen best in the people.
Wow.
And so I believe in the community. I
So you
believe that we're going to be just fine.
you said something real impactful. You said people that are genuine and that people are hurting, and we need leaders. And when you said that, somebody threw some heart stuff. I think the lady, do you know Dr. Kimberly Green? She threw
I
some hearts.
do.
Okay, so Dr. Kimberly Green is on. She says Mississippi region. So,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Brewer, we're going to put you in the green room, and we're going to bring you back in a few minutes
Thank
to
you.
continue this conversation. Thank you so much. Awesome, awesome. So again, if you're just joining us, we are enjoying a chat with the elders as we celebrate Black History Month. If you like and share this video, and also if you want to be entered for a drawing to win a $100 gift card, please go to www.craftedtomotivate.com, scroll to the bottom of the page and insert your email address. Once you insert your email address, you'll be entered into a chance to win a $100 gift card. And I'm sure everyone can use $100. If you can use $100, if you all can put in the chat screen, yes, I can use $100. So if you can put that in the comment box, matter of fact, just put $100 or some dollar signs to say you need that money. So again, go to www.craftedtomotivate.com and submit your email address to be entered to win a $100 gift card. So at this time, we're going to travel again, coming back to Raleigh, North Carolina, by the way of New Bern, North Carolina. This individual who I consider my mentor, my big brother, a disciplinarian, just a great person, and the one and only Dr. Ed E. Bell. Dr. Bell, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing quite well, and I hope you are.
I'm doing good. So I didn't ask everybody else this question, but I need to ask you this question. Are you behaving yourself?
No, it's not important to behave. It is always a good thing to misbehave for the good of all.
I love it. I love it. So who is Dr. Ed E. Bell?
Well, originally, as you said, hailed from New Bern, North Carolina. I'm a brother who grew up in one of the housing projects, Q2 323 Craven Terrace in the city of New Bern, who tried to do the best he could do in life. And as of 2018, he retired from the State Department in North Carolina. And now currently I teach at North Carolina State University in the MSW program, as well as I teach at Capella University in the Counseling Ed program. But most importantly, I call myself a community and a social justice advocate as it relates to working with parents and Black males in particular. So that's just a little bit about who I am and what I stand for.
Wow. And if I'm not mistaken, you're an author as well of a couple of books.
Correct. I have written 5 books, I believe, and have uh, published 3 peer-reviewed research articles, as relates to African American males, and in particular. And one of the articles I wrote about was addressing the needs of the lack of Black male educators in the system, and understanding how systemic racism even plays in the hiring or the lack thereof of Black educators.
Wow, wow. And I know you're really big on going all the way to the top as far as academic success. Don't stop at high school diploma. Don't stop at your bachelor's, your master's. Go all the way to the top. Is that what I hear from Dr. Bell?
Yes. Again, that's all that I know, and I don't know anything else other than a book, reading, studying, and showing yourself approved, and just doing the best you can academically. And that
Wow.
has certainly been my path. That's the
Wow.
path that I decided that was best for me. And often I think about receiving my associate degree from a community college, then completing a bachelor's degree at NC Central, then a master's degree at Liberty, and a doctor's degree at Liberty. And so I believe it has served me quite well. And
Good deal.
so I wouldn't take nothing from a journey now.
Love it, love it. Well, we're gonna put you back in the green room, but please don't misbehave when you head back to the green room, though.
I do my part. I do my part.
Sounds good, and we'll bring you back in a few minutes. Thank you so much. So again, if you're just joining us, please tune in. Please like and share. And again, if you're interested in winning a $100 gift card, please go to www.craftedtomotivate.com and enter your email address at the subscribe now. And what will happen is you will be entered to win a $100 gift card from Crafted to Motivate Limited Liability Company. So at this time, we're going to call another wisdom giver or elder, or however we would like to say it. This individual, when she speaks, though, I believe the whole world trembles, and God himself stops and says, "What is my daughter saying?" So this lady, she's just a powerhouse. We always go back and forth, and she always lets me know that she's the adult. So I'm going to call up to the front the one and only Dr. Linda Hubbard Curtis.
Hi, Jason. You are too much. No, but I'm glad that you understand.
So
How
who
are
is
you?
Dr. Linda? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You got your pearls on, representing Miss Alpha Kappa Alpha all day. So who is Dr. As a matter of fact, if we have some Alpha members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated listening, please throw up your pinkies, or give your soror or ski wee. Let her know that you all are listening to her. So who is Dr. Linda Herbert Curtis?
Well, first, as everyone else has said, Jason, I too am so happy to be here once again. Who is Linda Hubbard Curtis? Linda Hubbard Curtis, first of all, is a child of the Almighty. That's who she is. And through that, I am one who tries very hard to listen to God and to move in the direction in which he has instructed me to do. I am a person who advocates for young people, and I just retired in 2019 after over 44 years actually in education. And I believe that we cannot not allow our young Black and brown boys and girls, rich, poor, what have you, to take the easy road and to be determined to be who God has ordained them to be. And as long as I have breath in my body, I am going to be the one of the ones rather, to help our young people to make life better than their previous ancestors had.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Again, listen, audience, again, as I told you, when Dr. Linda Hubbard Curtis speaks, you know, God himself stops and say, what is my daughter doing?
He does ask that.
So Dr. Linda, if I can ask you this question, just tell us something unique about you. What is something unique about you?
Something unique about me, and I'm not sure if this is what one would say unique, but one of the uniqueness about me is that at starting a business for the first time at 68, 69 years old, that's unique for me, to start out and to put my what I have a passion to turn what I've been doing all these years into a passion that I love. So I think that's unique for me to do, because I am not, believe it or not, people won't believe this, I am not really a risk taker, and you know that, Jason, because
Right, exactly.
you've been on this journey with me. Yeah.
Well, I love the fact that you said that that's unique. At 68 years old, you made a decision after retirement, et cetera, to start a business. And that says a lot about you as your character and as a person. And it also tells other people that they have no excuse. They have no excuse to start their business or do whatever their dream is never too late. And so I appreciate that from you. I get a lot of energy from you. I know you and I bounce off each other, but I appreciate you saying that, hey, at 68, this is what I did and you can do it as well. So thank you so much, Dr.
That
Linda.
was 2 years ago.
Right.
So, you know, it's like 70, yeah.
So we're going to put you back in the green room, and don't go back there misbehaving, because I know you're back there with Dr. Bell, so you know we never know what may happen.
Promise.
We'll call you back in a few minutes. Thank you so much. Awesome. So again, if you are just chiming in, please like and share. And also, if you are interested in winning a $100 gift card, please go to www.craftedtomotivate.com, scroll to the bottom and insert your email address and click subscribe now. That will enter you into a drawing for a $100 gift card. Again, who needs $100 in the midst of what's going on? Gas prices are going up, groceries going up. I'm sure somebody got a high light bill. So again, somebody needs the $100. So again, we're going to now go back to the green room, and we're going to travel to my hometown, the one and only Sumter, South Carolina. And we're going to bring up, this lady has known me ever since I was a child. She kept me out of trouble. But one thing about her is that I can honestly say I am where I am today because of a lot of her teaching, her discipline, and really just pouring into me as a young person. And so I'm going to call to the front my sister, my friend, just somebody I've known my whole life who's pushed me, and that is the one and only Dr. Tijuana Mayo. I'm good. Dr. Mayo, I think you are on mute. I cannot hear you.
Glory to God. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, you do have to unmute so that you can speak. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity, this space to be on your wonderful program. As you have shared, we have known one another for a phenomenally long time. This is my first year of retirement, and I'm really enjoying it. Jason was one of the young people at Crestwood High School as we first came together as a community. The school was opening up, and his was the first class to be authentic Knights. From the 9th grade to the 12th, he made the journey, and he was in the first class who could say that I am truly a Crestwood Knight. I have made this journey from 9th grade to the 12th grade. Now, as Jason moved on, he went on to Francis Marion College, and we have this little running joke about Zetas making alpha men. And so one of the alpha men that I'm so proud that I had an opportunity to sow into is this young man. So what's happening with Dr. Tijuana Mayo right now? Well, As a retiree, I
But
have
Dr. Mayo, it's Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, you know.
Kappa.
Kappa.
Oh, I thought you were an alpha. Dear, I am so sorry.
Remember that story? You know,
Oh,
I brought
please.
my, you know, I brought my, you know.
That's right.
Kappa
That's
Alpha
right.
Psi. That's right.
Sorry, please pardon me. Well, this dynamic, see, you know what? I make so many men in other organizations. You know, I don't even think I've had an opportunity to make a Sigma. So, nevertheless, I've made Kappas, I've made Qs, and I've made Alphas. But nevertheless, but right now, what am I doing? As a retiree, I have the distinction of being on the Reagan Preparatory Christian Academy board here in Sumter. And so I'm often in and out of the classrooms there with Headmaster Sean Reagan and the wonderful staff. And so that is keeping me quite busy. In addition, I recently was named the assistant pastor at my home church, Galilee Baptist Church in Maysville, South Carolina, the home of Dr. Mary McCall Bethune. And so that keeps me busy, you know, as busy as we can be in a pandemic, reaching out to the people. And I do a weekly spot on Facebook entitled Moments of Serenity, where we share the word of God. I am concerned about where people are going in this dispensation because this is a very different time. The dynamic that we're living in calls for reaching out in a whole different manner. We are fighting always. The battle has never been about flesh and blood, but spiritual things. And now you have to know how to make the shift so you will not be deceived and carried into something. Someone said in a report recently that I read that the world seems to be in a mass hypnosis and people are reaching out. They're fearful. They don't know what to do next. They're anxious. But as we minister the gospel, as we continue to send out the message that getting an education is important, we are uplifting the world. And so I'm just glad to be here with all of the wonderful other panelists, to see so many people come together from so many different areas in our country is just really a beautiful and amazing experience. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to be on this evening. And again, I apologize. You're a Kappa man, not an Alpha man, but we love you nevertheless, baby.
You know, only a Kappa man can wear a bow tie like this. You know, there is an Alpha. Dr. Bell is an Alpha, but all is well. But for all the women of Zeta Phi Beta, if you all can make sure and throw up some Z's for your Sora, Dr. Tijuana Mayo from Sumter, South Carolina. So again, Dr. Mayo, so as you were talking, what is this one unique thing about you that you want the listener audience to know?
Unique. Oh, just I don't know what I would say. I would say that the unique experience comes with being an assistant pastor. I did not, though I've been in ministry since the fall of the Twin Towers, some 20 years now, I never imagined myself in the office of assistant pastor and the opportunities that you have to reach out to God's people in a whole nother way, but yet be under the headship of someone offers great promise for growth. And I think that if we could tell anybody any lesson of life, get someone who can mentor you, someone who can sow into your life to help you on your journey as you're becoming all that God would have you to be.
Wow. Thank you so very, very much. So again, I'm going to put you in the green room and we'll bring you out in a few minutes.
All righty.
So again, if you are just joining us and just tuning in and just listening, we're off to a great start. Again, a chat with the elders. And again, if you would like to enter to win a $100 gift card, please go to www.craftedtomotivate.com and subscribe now. Then you will be entered into a drawing to win the $100. And I also want to say, we're going to bring the panelists out at one time. And then if you have any questions that you would like to ask them, please put those questions on your Facebook chat screen and they'll pop up for us to ask those questions. Or if you're on YouTube, you can also do the same as well. And we want to hear from you. We do have some questions that the panelists will be answering. But again, we want to hear from our listening audience. What are some things that you want to ask these wisdom givers? So at this time, I'm going to bring all the panelists back onto this great screen so you can see these great elders, wisdom givers. So one thing I want to say about all of these individuals, I'm going to call out their name and I want you all to hear something unique. First, you have Dr. Deborah Brewer. Then you have Dr. Linda Hubbard Curtis. Then you have Dr. Dudley Mayers. Then you have Dr. Tijuana Mayo. Then you have Dr. Ed Bell. Then you have Dr. Sandra Coley. So here's what is unique. One thing you heard was the word doctor. Every last one of these individuals obtained their doctoral degree. What does that say? It does not matter your age or what have you. You can obtain your doctoral degree. So again, I'm just super excited that these awesome individuals are just here before us on a panel. Again, doctor. So I'm going to personally give you all a hand. And if the listening audience can also give some virtual hands as well at these great individuals on the screen. And our technician, Daryl, in the pack. Daryl, if you can remove me off the screen so we can get a screenshot of these awesome individuals without me, because again, this is just a powerhouse of Black unity, Black commitment, all these doctors, and listen audiences, give them a hand. So Daryl, if you can remove me so we can make sure and get a picture just of these individuals. So we're about to start the panel question again. Listening audience, if you have any questions, you can please put your questions on the chat screen and we'll be able to answer those questions for you. So our first question, and we'll just randomly call individuals as we kind of go through, and we'll start off kind of light with some light questions. The first question goes to I'm going to say this goes to Dr. Bell. And so, Dr. Bell, the question that we want to ask you is, why do you think it is such a challenge for generations to work together? What's that challenge? Why is it that we have such a gap between maybe the millennials and the baby boomers and the Gen X's? Why is it so hard for us to come together as a Black community in our own generations?
Let me just give you a scenario that actually happened to me probably about 4 years ago. I was invited to North Carolina A&T to do a conversation bridging the gap between young and old. So I was paired up with this young guy. He was 21 years of age. He was a student at A&T. So he and I were supposed to come together and to have a conversation about how can we present at the conference. And so we did. But in the process of our preparation, he and I had different ideas, different suggestions, and different thoughts as to what we should do in the presentation. And so he and I didn't seem to come together because he had his way of thinking, I had my way of thinking, and the processing wasn't there. So on the day of the event, we met face to face. And he said, Dr. Bell, let's do this. And I'm thinking, what? And so finally I said, young man, whatever you want to do, I am going to follow you. Mm-hmm. And I did just that. One of the things that I find is older folk, seasoned folk, feel as though they have all the answers, and they don't. Because the way mother did it, grandmother did it, aunts and uncles did it, does not make it right. And so we're living in a cycle of socialization that does not benefit everybody. And so now what I do, Brother Jason, I yield to younger people and say, how can I help you? Because age has no relationship to wisdom. Now, because there's a lot of older folk chronologically who have yet to learn life lessons. And so I listen to the young people because I want their input, show me what I need to do or what I need to rethink. And so when I was growing up, Jason, you could not contradict, you could not challenge someone older. Mm-hmm. You had to go along with it, and you knew in your mind that they were not doing the right things. But you had to sit there and you have to take it. Mm-hmm. And young folk now are not going to take it. Mm-hmm. And I realized we don't know it all. Mm-hmm. Now, what I can do, this is what I can do. I can give you the benefit of my experiences, of my lived experience, and hopefully that would help you. But I'm willing to learn and to listen and to get information, because older people, seasoned people, aged people don't know all the answers.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Does anybody else want to chime in on that real quick before we move to the next question? The challenges among generations.
Yeah, I want to chime in.
Yeah.
Okay, we all go. Ladies, go ahead.
Well, I agree with Dr. Bell. That's one reason pastoring and doing a lot of youth, you got to be able to recognize that we don't know everything. And you got to meet this generation where they are. And they have also they're watching your life to see, are you credible? Are you consistent? And you got to share when you don't add up, or just say, you're going to have to be truthful. And you can't tell somebody you must do this. I remember the Lord spoke to me one day and he said, did they ask you? See, a lot of times we're so busy doing it all, but did they ask you? And then when you feel like it's not working, you wasn't asked to come into it in the first place.
Mm.
And so we have to be able to be respectful. And that's where I am right now. Maybe like Deborah under the palm tree, or maybe Naomi and Ruth is going somewhere, because it's got to come together.
Wow. Wow.
But
Cool.
but first of all, a lot of times we need to be quiet and ask the question, did they ask me?
Mm. I love that. Wow. Wow. I think it was Dr. Dudley and Dr. Linda was about to jump in at the same time. Who's going to go?
Okay, let me go first.
Well, I'm going to do this very quickly. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. I agree. We, as the older ones, yes, we always feel that our way is the best way. And it is not. Wisdom will always be if you have grasped it and you've learned from it. The one thing in starting this business that I am still learning is to listen to the younger ones. They know the technology, they know the lingo, they they do understand. But, and having said that, we do need to sit down together and work things through together. Younger people have the lingo. They do the social media. They know this. I don't know it. I just got a phone today and I don't even know how to use it, but I can call Jason or someone who will know, or, a 3-year-old. But the whole point of all of this is it is different, but we do have to work together, because there are landmines, if you will, that we do know where they are, and we can help the younger people not to step in those landmines, just like they can help us know how to turn on a computer and to be able to communicate.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Dudley.
Yeah, well, what I want to say is that for me, I found that I have to stay relevant. I have to keep learning.
Yeah.
Example, 7 years ago, I learned ballroom dancing for the first time. Tomorrow, I'm going to the first metaverse conference in my life for the next 2 days. I have to interact with a lot of young people. They know things I don't know, and they try to teach me and teach me and teach me. And I still don't. It's hard. I have to depend on them. I have to lean on them. But at the same time, I know somehow in the mix, they end up calling me Papa. So I know I'm making some ground. But the staying relevant, keep learning, and also extract the good way you can find it. In young people that I interact with, and everybody is younger than me these days wherever I go. So that's a wide bandwidth. And for all the young people I meet, I find that as I stay connected with them, I keep learning. And they keep me on my toes because I find out that I don't know. I keep learning from them.
Wow, wow, Dr. Dudley. So when I come to Canada, I'm excited to go to the ballroom. Okay, so I'm excited to see Dr. Dudley on the dance floor at the
That
ballroom.
should be cute.
So there was a question that someone put up about suicide. In today's society, there are so many young people, especially African American men, that are committing suicide. So what resources or how can we help to eradicate that problem? So from your experience as wisdom givers, as elders in the community, what is something that you can help us as young people? And when I say young people, these are teenagers in early 20s who are just giving up on life and committing suicide. So how can we help them to eradicate this problem of our young Black boys taking their lives? So I'm going to actually go to Dr. Coley and then go to Dr. Mayo for that. Dr. Coley? Dr. Coley, I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. I think it's important that we help our young people to know and to process who they are authentically. A lot of times, in my situation, dealing with young people and dealing with the grief community, a lot of times people that are depressed and contemplating committing suicide is because they see something wrong with themselves. And a lot of time they see it based on outside indicators. Something was said, something hurtful that they didn't have or could not get over. I think it's important that we help our young people or any people, any age people, to know authentically who you are and that you find out who you are from the inside. You have to go inside to know who you are. You don't get that from the outside. It's not what they say, what they told you, or even what you believe about yourself based on what society, the television, the internet, and other outside indicators. You measure yourself by the wrong standards. It starts with going on the inside, and we need to be real. We need to stop walking around like super saints, like we've never done anything. Even a conversation about the generations. I love to say old school, like that's the best, old school. And that's one of the reasons why sometimes we get stuck because we think that was the best and that was the only way. But no, it takes all of us. And we've got to learn how to embrace and show love to our young people and bring them into it's not children of tomorrow, it's children of right now. And we
Wow.
need to value them and let them know that we value them and help them to value themselves.
Wow. Wow. I love that. I love that. Dr. Mayo. You on mute, Dr. Mayo.
I'll get it together here. 3 words: build, train, and love. In the Bible, it says, build up yourself in your most holy faith. So what we have to do is build character in our young people all along the way. African American males, everybody needs affirmation, but with this population, it is very important what is spoken into their spirit at an early age. So we are challenged as a cultural people who are nurturing our young men to build them up. Let them know, yes, you can do it. Yes, it's good to have great aspirations and explore the different things that they like. Train. We are the generation that can train them. Learn from the mistakes that we have made, gain strength, understanding that we have overcome and you can overcome too. Love, self-love. We have to foster self-love. The poem says, God, why did you make me Black? There is a purpose behind your just being here on earth. And so we need to try to get people to tap into their potential early on, and we should nurture them. So again, build them up, train them, and help them to love themselves.
Wow.
Jason.
Whoever wants to go first, Dr. Brewer, we're going
Dr.
to.
Bear, go on.
Okay, let me just mention this. I think that something that we need to do in our community, and particularly in the African American community, when we see, especially the rise of suicide, and in particular with Black males, I think we could do a better job with utilizing this particular resource, which is a licensed, credentialed mental health professional. It is okay to have a pastor or a preacher, as well as have a licensed, credentialed mental health therapist. We have this stigma, and don't get me wrong, I know the power of prayer. I know what can be done, and I know what has been done, and I know what will be done. But we have to avail ourselves to get in professional help, because we have a lot of congregants, a lot of friends, a lot of family members who in and out of the church building every Sunday morning, they're hurting. And so we have to go beyond the building, because people are hurting. And the pandemic has compounded many of the mental health challenges, and now the pandemic has become a stressor. And so we can pray, we can shout, we can speak in unforeign languages in the tongues all we want to. But our people are hurting and they're dying because we have a stigma, some of us in some communities, about mental health services. And we need to embrace, we need to own it. We need to refer out. Because someone said in a session I was on a couple of weeks ago, last week, we have people who are leading people and they're bleeding themselves. Mm-hmm. So you're leading and you're bleeding. And so how can you help those who are hurting when you are bleeding? And so we have to recognize with our children, Black boys in particular, because we were taught early to be strong. You know, boys don't cry. You know, take it like a man. I didn't raise you to cry. But as I tell brothers, cry. It is okay to cry. For those who don't cry and internally bring things in, we know what happens. And so we have to reach out and seek out professional, licensed, credentialed by a state agency, and get folks some help.
Wow. Wow. Dr. Brewer, you're about to jump in.
Well, I'm probably going to take it from a different perspective as a nurse. And I hear what we're saying, but we could say this has got to be built on the inside. But the problem is there's no availability for them to go to care. See, we could talk, but if you don't touch and you're not looking in someone's eyes, or you're not changing in the behavior. See, if I'm sitting in the pew and I can hear that, but then I walked out, but did anyone see me? Did anyone touch me? Or is that a validation that I really am an invisible person? I've had those experiences with nurses where, just patients, something is not quite right. But how do we get for them to care? I mean, that seems to be off distant to me. You got to meet people where they are. The little boy that's going by your house, did you speak? Or were you available for them to say? Wow. So it's got, and right now, the way it is, it's grief out here. And see, grief is pain on the inside. So as long as you're talking, you can mourn it. But when it's hidden really on the inside, you're not talking. But there's indicators that will let us know But are we talking and looking away just to be talking? Are we talking because we see and we care?
Wow. Wow. So that is I hope someone is taking notes, because we heard about love, compassion, something Dr. Coley said, that, we got to be authentic. We can't act as if we've always been perfect. I heard Dr. Mayo talked about, build, train, and love. And one thing that you said, Dr. Brewer, is so profound, is that we see people all the time that are hurting and in need. But what do?
Nothing.
We walk right past them. Faith is really important in the African American community. And I always think about the man on the Jericho Road experience, right? So how many people walk past? So important for us to do that. So there were some questions that I had listed over here, but there was a comment that someone put in the chat screen about I believe Clara Pulley put it up. She said, what happened in the family supposed to stay in the family is what we have been told. Can you all talk about how that has damaged us as a people?
Secrets. Don't tell that secret. It's gonna go away. You see a big old hump, even like women that's sick. Don't show that to nobody. And then when they come, how in the world did you let that get out that far? We got to change that. And so that is a stupidity on our part that has killed a lot of us. Hey, you can't share that. You can't tell nobody, go on, it's going to get better. Well, it didn't get better. It's gotten worse. So going on is not the answer.
Wow.
I think it created within the community what I call a false truth.
It is.
We were taught in the family, don't talk about that. The child in their mind envisioned, by me not talking about it, it's going to go away. It's going to get better. It's going to be okay. And that was not the case. And we trusted that if we kept that secret, everything would be okay. Only to find out in our adulthood, it caused a lot of problems. And so, again, the word authentic, we have got to stop, and we have got to begin to be authentic, real, and truthful. And then again, if it happens, the child needs a trusted source to go to. It goes back to what Dr. Bell said. There are too many pastors out here who are claiming to be professional, clinical counselors and barely have a high school diploma. We've got to stop that. It's not fair to false advertise in our community. It's time out for that. We need help. We need help. And you got to put yourself aside. It's not about you and your title and doctor. Everybody wants to be doctor. I worked hard for my doctorate. I don't know about anyone else. Blood, sweat, and tears came with it. It's not glamorous. It's not glamorous. We have people hurting, and we need to be real with people and stop perpetrating a lie and stop enforcing the continuation of lies in our community.
Wow.
We can't afford it. We can no longer afford it.
Wow. Let's go to Canada because Dr. Dudley.
Yeah. I do believe what Dr. Bella said in relation to professional intervention. But I'm hanging on to what Dr. Mayo said in terms of build, train, and love. Now, how we do this here at my end, we are training our chaplains, every single one of them, because chaplains are everywhere or can be everywhere, to be ambassadors of the spoken blessing. Many of us have been destroyed with words even in our mother's womb. And as we go through the different life stages, some of those even pre-born hurts are still troubling us when we are 50, 60 years old. We are reclaiming that back. And this God-given blessings that God has entrusted parents and other leaders of people to pour into them consistently over an entire lifetime. Now, some communities, the Jewish community, by the time a child reaches teenage, bar mitzvah, they have got 1,000 blessings. Every single day, they get word blessings. So, with the building, words, with the training, words. Now, the love, you need deeds as well as words. Yes, professional training, intervention, absolutely necessary. But every single one of us can learn to be an ambassador of the spoken blessing for every single person. And sometimes it doesn't take many words. It takes what Dr. Brewer said, that you just, that person's passing every day, you say hello and you smile at them. That's a blessing. But I'm talking about intentional word blessings that takes back the hurts and the pains from even the preborn at every stage of our lives.
Wow. Wow. So we're at 8:57, and it's interesting. When we did this last year, we had individuals asking us for a part 2. So I must say to my mentor, if you can give us 5 extra minutes so we can wrap up. Okay, because my mentor, Dr. Bell, will say, hey, we had time. But because there's a lot of comments that are coming up that we didn't put on the screen. What someone said about, of course, what said in this house should stay in this house. Someone talked about intervention. Saying yes, Darryl, you can put some of those comments up there, what people were saying. And what I want to ask each one of you all is, what is some wisdom that you would leave to the listening audience? So if there's someone right now that is listening at this very moment that may be troubled as an African American, and they're right now sitting at your feet as an elder, they are right now sitting at your feet looking for some wisdom, what would you tell them? And I'm gonna give y'all a moment to think about that, and then I'm gonna put the pin and say, hey, if you're listening, like and share. If you want to win $100, please go to craftedtomotivate.com and insert your email address, and what will happen, you'll be entered to win a drawing for $100, and you'll join us with a chat with the elders. Again, it's 1 hour, but there are so many comments in the box, and we want to be able to leave some parting words with those individuals that are listening. So again, lots of individuals are watching right now, and you all can throw some hearts and some likes. But if one of these individuals are currently right now sitting at your feet as the elder for wisdom, what would you say to them? So I'm going to go with, well, who wants to go first? Just jump in.
I want to go first this time. I want to say that you were born for a purpose. Your Father, your Heavenly Father loves you. And regardless of what you've experienced in your lifetime, I am going to take on the role of your Father, and I will bless you. I'll bless you from your mother's womb to for every stage of your life, and affirm you and encourage you that you were born for a purpose. And if you don't fulfill the purpose, the world will be missing something great.
Wow. 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 Thank you, Dr. Dudley. Who's going next?
I will. One of the things that I've been inspired and moved since I started my business, H&C, and working with young people, high school students, as they are writing their essays over the last 3 years. And it really surprised me in what they wrote about. And they wrote about being depressed, having to think about what their future is going to be about. It was just very moving that as I'm reading their essays and talking to them, there are kids out here who are hurting. They are in the classrooms. Now they're back in the classrooms. But even before the pandemic, these kids were still in the classrooms, and no one heard them. No one heard the cries. They wrote it. They are writing it. And what I have said and will continue to say, you are somebody. Talk. Know how to use the words. We have to help our young people with words. But more than that, we've got to help adults understand that just because your child is walking around here smiling and thinking that everything is fine, they are crying at night. They are on this thing called a phone, and they are looking to find other people that's going to either help them cross over, and crossing over is, am I going to commit suicide or not? This is real. You all are right by saying in the Black community, whether you grew up in a low income community or in a high income community, your mind and your experiences, what you are experiencing, that's real. And until we build, train, and love our young people, we're going to have some more. We're going to have some more children who are committing suicide. So what I would say to those who are listening, first of all, God loves you. God loves you. God loves you. Find someone that you can talk to, because life is wonderful, but in your eyes, it is a tragedy. And this pandemic has really helped to bring that up to the forefront of how our young people are feeling. Listen, parents, to your kids. Don't listen to their words. Listen to them as you see them. Not always what you hear, but look at your child. Look at them, because they are talking and you can't hear them. But you need to have discernment and hear them.
Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to go to Dr. Coley.
Okay. I would say to all of you that are listening, God loves you. I love you. But it's most important that you love you. Learning to love yourself, as the songwriter once wrote, is the greatest love of all. Look within yourself, find out what makes you happy, and begin the process of loving yourself. It's not as easy done as it is said, because when you begin to love yourself, you're going to see some good, you're going to see some ugly. It takes both. Sunshine and rain will produce a rainbow. You are going to fail at some things, but get back up. Every day is not going to be sunshine, but there will be another day. Learn to love yourself, regardless of what anybody say or do. If that love is not on the inside of you, it's going to be like a barrier for whoever is working with you. In order to build those relationships, we got to get to the individual. We've got to get to the individual and begin to work with them on their level. And who do they think they are? Who do they think they are? What do they think about themselves? We've got to really be real with people and build that relationship. I agree with that. Build that relationship so that we will have a chance to instill in the individual, love yourself. Love yourself.
Thank you. Dr. Mayo.
So many different things. This is very emotional because I do love young people, although my professional experience more with the people with youngsters with disabilities. Through the various clubs that I work with, we had an opportunity to touch knees with the general population. And one of the things that no one has mentioned, but I think is very important, if someone, you said, if the person came to us, and that's very important, Jason, if the person trusts you enough to come to you to reveal that there is a problem, they're saying, I have confidence in you. And so I think that, again, fellowship, the building of relationship, nurturing to let you know you are important, you're special. Yes, this was a bad day, but it's not the only day in your life. And then if we would just tell the truth, authenticity, tell the truth. I've been in a position whereby I didn't feel confident. I've had some days in my life where it has been very rough and I have felt defeated. But you can live beyond this moment. And understand, we're dealing with something as a culture of people. And, someone brought out tonight about the fact that the hurt is not just with this generation. It is passed down through the generational line. As we came out of slavery, something was embedded in the consciousness of our people. And that has been going down through the generations in the bloodline, in the DNA, as we are forming in our mother's womb, certain negative experiences that come with just the whole gamut of things that go on because you are Black and denied access. These things come down through generations, and just say suffer through it. That's not going to work with the young people that we're working with today. They need real answers. They need real solutions. We like to talk about in real time unfolding. They need some in real time unfolding kinds of things that they can take away from interacting with us.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Brewer, what are your wisdom words?
Well, if someone came to me and I'm shepherdess, the nurturer, but usually, that has happened so many times, my approach is always silence and a touch. Because they have to enter into a presence that they're comfortable enough to be at your feet, and it's okay. It's an eye look, it's an eye away. It may be a touch with permission, not assuming I can touch. And even when they grasp me, that let me know how far I'm going and how far I can't. You have to be able to sense that. And many times you're seeing that person and you've been waiting on them anyway. If they trust you. And a lot of times it's like, where are you now? You want to share something? It's their choice of sharing. So if I had something to say to someone that's in that situation, that wisdom is that you have came to acknowledge that there's a need. Because an unmet need makes you sick.
Wow.
And hurting people hurt people.
Wow.
And I would allow them to cry, to tell me if I have something relevant that I can say that has happened in my life as a storyteller, or I can cry with them, or I can identify with them. If they give me permission, I will hold them. I have literally put people in my lap that had to go back, and then we will set up another time. But first of all, people have to be comfortable in the presence, and in the presence of God, He has every need when we practice His presence. There's no need will be unmet for the person or for you.
Wow.
So we got to trust that process. But I think that we're too away from people and not willing to go near people. And that's been in our community. Go and sit down. But what if I don't know how to sit down?
That's right.
Wow.
So I think we got to become more available.
Wow. Wow. Thank
more
you. Thank
caring.
you. Wow. Wow. You said something, an unmet need makes you sick. Wow. So Dr. Bell.
Well, if someone were to come to me, my response to them would probably depend on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But in generally speaking, I would say to the person, and I've said to myself, that you are possible, that you are possible. To be specific, if someone were to come to me with a mental health need, I would quickly refer them to someone licensed and credentialed. And if someone were to come to me and I didn't have the skill set, the ability, the disposition, and the talents, I would own my limitations and say, listen, I'm going to get you what you need, first of all, because some things we have to realize that we cannot be all things to all people at all times. And we have to understand the challenges that we have as a people, that we can't do it all. So I will refer as necessary, but I will always be reminded that something that we have to do in our communities, we have to interrupt and disturb the cycle of socialization that we all have gone through as regards to mental health needs and crisis. We have to interrupt that cycle. So that could mean that we need to do something different. And so we can, as I said before, we can preach, we can do all the love words that we want to give and that we want to share. But a people hurting. And so we can offer affirmations. We can be affirming. We can give the hugs. We can give the kisses. We can embrace. But sometimes the itches and the trauma is so deep seated.
So deep.
It's deep. And it's deep in us. And just be reminded and just visualize. What if you had a sore on your hand
Mm-hmm.
and you just put a band-aid over it and it'll be okay? And then you hit that hand again, you put another band-aid over it. And you hit that hand again, now you're going to take the band-aids off and just dab a little peroxide or ointment on it. And then you hit it again. All of a sudden that hand becomes festered.
Mm.
In order to clean that wound out, you have to take all those layers off.
Yeah.
You have to dig deep, deep in that core of that sore. Now you have the pus, you have blood, you have infection. You have to dig deep,
Yeah.
deep.
Clean it out.
And it's painful, and it's hurt, and it's damaging.
It is.
And so, in order to destroy some of our ills, we have to dig deep into the wounds.
Mm.
And it's not a pretty picture, because when we dig deep into the wound, that's when we begin to tell secrets,
That's right.
family secrets, the hurt, and that trauma that has been buried in us. And so we have to interrupt, Brother Jason, the cycle of socialization that we have been a product of historically. And we have to disturb that in a mighty way, because what we're dealing with now and what we are facing, our kids are dying in front of our eyes and we stand watch.
That's right.
And
That's
the
right.
best we can offer to them is to pray about it. That's what we can offer. Just pray, honey. Just pray. And we've been praying and fasting. And folks are still dying. Now, prayer is good. God is able. He has done and will do greater things. But prayers without works.
It's dead.
And
It's
at
dead.
some point, brother, we have to be mindful of Fannie Lou Hamer. I'm sick and tired of being
Yes,
sick and tired. Because God is not going to drop anything in your lap. And so we have to do a better job, because our kids are hurting. And not only our kids are hurting, But kids grow up
Hurting,
to be adults,
hurting.
and they hurt. And so the lack of esteem and the lack of determination and the lack of grit and the lack of goal setting and the lack of planning. Just imagine you grew up in a house and there was a lack thereof. And everybody you befriend and socialize with, there was a lack thereof. And so you don't have that confidence. And so confidence is powerful. When you can walk in a room or walk into a space and you know that space belongs to you because you have dug into your core of your wounds and you have cleaned out that ugliness, and nobody can take that confidence from you because you know you are possible. And so we have to have those hard conversations, because I tell people, brother, when I walk into a room, the room belongs to me. That's preparation. That's something that someone put in. As I say, the old saints, the praying saints, the action-oriented saints, put that in. And so many of you probably have seen this going across TikTok. I did. Young folks send you stuff, TikTok. And Deanne Sanders said something that was powerful, and it resonated with me. It makes sense. Don't allow my confidence to offend your insecurity.
My God.
Right.
Don't allow my confidence to offend your insecurity. Deion Sanders, I saw that on TikTok today, and that's powerful, because when you know who you are, whose you are, supported and girded and protected, and you have that self-assurance, and because someone
It's defined.
have gone into that cycle of socialization, and they have interrupted it and they have disturbed it. And it's important for our children
Wow.
and
Wow.
for the adults.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard some powerful words of wisdom from our elders. Dr. Deborah Brewer, thank you. Dr. Linda Hubbard Curtis, thank you. Dr. Dudley Mayers, thank you. Dr. Tijuana Mayo, thank you. Dr. Edward E. Bell, thank you. Dr. Sandra Coley, thank you. And I want to say thank you on behalf of the listening audience, but thank you on behalf of myself personally, because I have had the opportunity to sit at each one of your feet at one point or another in my life. And I can say I am who I am today with a lot of the wisdom that you all have poured into me. Dr. Brewer, you and I had a really good talk today, and I was like, wow. And I text Kim and I said, Kim, oh my God, I love her. I'm going to spoil her. So thank you. So thank everyone for joining
Thank all of you.
on. A lot of people are saying we need a part 2, but I'm going to say we're going to wait till next year, and we will see you in February 2023 for a chat with the elders. You know, or something may happen and we may pop it back, but we don't know. But again, thank you all. Give us some likes, some hearts, like and share. Go to the website and insert your name to win $100 gift card. Again, thank you all. Stay happy, stay healthy, but most of all, stay blessed. Jason T. Mahoney, better known as the Motivator, founder and owner of Crafted to Motivate Limited Liability Company. Everyone have a great evening. Take care.